Assalamu alaikum and a very good day to all my viewers. We begin with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, which means we begin with the name of Allah, which stands for the Allah, who is the most kind, the most beneficent, and the most merciful. No one else is as beneficent or as merciful to mankind as Allah Almighty. We all know that Allah has 99 names revealed to mankind. Today, apart from Rahman and Rahim, let us try to know about two more names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are Al-Khaliq, which means the creator. Allah is the creator of everything that is in the heavens and on earth. Allah creates everything from nothing, which no one else can do. It is only the power of Allah who creates everything out of nothing, and He is the one who has created everything that is in the heavens and on earth. So Allah is Al-Khaliq. Allah has another name, Al-Bari, which means the evolver, the one who creates and develops gradually and in proportion. Only Allah can evolve things. Only Allah has the ability to make matters evolve gradually and proportionately in all situations and at all times. Let us go through a fable written by Aesop, so that we learn certain things which are so much necessary for us in our everyday life. The story that we will go through today is The Fox and the Grapes. It is one of Aesop's many fables. Aesop's fables are stories written by Aesop, who was a slave and a storyteller of ancient Greece. These stories are short but interesting, particularly for children. In all of his fables, the characters are usually animals, plants, and forces of nature with human qualities. These fables have been handed down from generation to generation. That is why we have them still today in our midst, although they were written during the time of Aesop in ancient Greece. These fables teach us lessons which everyone needs to learn. They teach us about morals, ethics, and beliefs. And these are qualities and characteristics which every human being needs to cultivate in their character. So, as I already said, the story that we are going to go through is today The Fox and the Grapes. One fine morning, a fox got out of its den and, after roaming about for some time aimlessly, saw a bunch of grapes hanging from a vine. The vine was on a trellis, which was quite high. It was nearly noon, and the fox was hungry and thirsty as well. The sight of the grapes attracted the attention of the fox. He tried to reach the bunch of grapes to quench his thirst and hunger, but failed. He jumped as high as he could, but all his attempts were in vain. The bunch of grapes were out of his reach. It was too high. After several attempts, the fox gave up trying and walked away in a sorry and sad mood. He was disappointed, but he did not admit his failure or his defeat. He muttered to himself, "Those grapes are sour." So in this story, we have come across some teaching, some learning, that when a human being attempts at something, his pride keeps him away from admitting that he was a failure, he was not successful. So he says that They are not worth trying to get them. They are sour. They're not worth the attempt. And it is pride that keeps back people from admitting their failure or their faults. So this is one learning that we can take from this story. We come across some words which are not quite common. So let us give attention to those words and try to understand them. We constantly need to improve our vocabulary. We need to increase our vocabulary so that we speak better language, we write it better, and we improve our language. These are taken from the story. The first word that is a little bit uncommon is trellis, which is a structure or a framework made of bamboo, wood, or sometimes of metal. Usually it is used to support climbing plants. We know the vine on which grapes grow is a climbing plant. It is a vine, a climbing plant. If we use it in a sentence, we may use it. The rose creeper looks beautiful on the trellis. That means we also have climbing roses. Those are climbers. There are several kinds of roses, and climbers are a type of roses that grow on some structures, maybe a trellis. Roaming, to go about without a fixed aim or purpose. To roam about aimlessly, to walk about aimlessly. We can use it in a sentence. For example, as we had some free time in the evening, we went about roaming in the city. To roam, to walk about aimlessly. Aimlessly means without a definite aim or purpose. Not having a fixed purpose. We may use it in a sentence. We roamed about aimlessly. Bunch of grapes, we said in the story. Bunch means a few things of the same kind being together. Bunch of grapes. Bunch of lychees, we may say. Bunch of mangoes. Bunch of bananas. If we use it in a sentence, we may say, please keep my bunch of keys on the key hanger. Please keep my bunch of keys on the key hanger. Several means many. The opposite of several is few. We may use it in a sentence. For example, there were several books in the library which I wanted to read. There were many books in the library and I was interested to read them. Several means many. Attempts means to make an effort to do something, to try. The fox made several attempts to reach the bunch of grapes. We may use it in a sentence. For example, it is worth making several attempts in order to reach one's goal. If we want to achieve something, reach a goal, we need to make several attempts. We should not be frightened of making second attempts and third attempts. We should not be daunted, not frightened. Quench means to satisfy, usually satisfy thirst. Quench thirst. And if we use it in a sentence, if you are thirsty, quench your thirst. We should not go thirsty, we should quench our thirst. In vain means without success. In vain means useless attempts. If we use in a sentence, we may say, good works never go in vain. They always give some reward. Good works never go in vain. Console, to try to reduce someone's grief or sorrow or loss. We may use it in a sentence, for example, To console someone is not always easy. It is difficult to console people when they suffer loss, suffer damage, when they are in grief. Muttered, talking to oneself, usually in a sad or worried mood. Muttered. The fox muttered to himself, those grapes are sour, because he could not have them. You may use it in a sentence. Do not mutter to yourself. Speak clearly. People also mutter when they are unhappy. To complain, they mutter to themselves. So do not mutter to yourself. Speak clearly. So we learn from this story that people dislike or scorn, look down upon things which they cannot have. They pretend or console themselves by saying that those things are not good enough to try to have them. So these are false pretensions. We should try to be honest to ourselves. It's not necessary that we have to win all the time, be successful all the time, but we make attempts. That is important. So Aesop's fables have been teaching us a lot of lessons. In all the stories, we have lessons that we can learn. In the story, we read the story. Some of us remember such stories which we read when we were children. Some of us have forgotten. For children, maybe something new. We've learned some new words, come across some new words, learned their meanings, at times learned their opposites, and also learned how to use them in sentences so that we can use them in our real life. I hope this will be helpful, particularly for the children who are in the learning stage. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.